will face me first!
Yago! Beach bus! Samurai Ara Dratschüt! Der Mundbeißpartner! Archie! Santaki!
There are video games that come out all the time. Video games of all shapes and sizes. Some video games are just cookie cutter copies of their previous prequels that are churned out year after year, and there's nothing truly magnificent about them. But every few years there's games that come out that can change a gamer's life, can leave an indelible print on who they are and what they love about gaming, can change the way they look at all games they will play in the future forever. Now this game that we're talking about is Ghost of Tsushima. Now, this game came out over, I think, just about 40 years ago. However, it was a PlayStation only game. And so because of that, people like myself, who are primarily PC gamers, have had to wait for quite a long time to be able to enjoy Ghost of Tsushima. Now make no mistake, this game is a masterpiece. It is absolutely a masterpiece, both visually, storytelling, and as far as world design. There's so much detail in everything in this world. The way that it looks during cutscenes is exactly the way it looks during gameplay. There's nothing that you can see that looks like a cheap trick or a smoke screen to hide the lack of visual fidelity that is actually being shown. Instead, I look at this game and I wonder, how in the world did this game ever play on a PS4 Pro? Now the PS4 Pro was pretty decent for its time, but it was much weaker than the Xbox One X and was not even capable of 4K graphics. But the PS4 Pro somehow powered this game, at least at lower graphical settings than what is currently being shown. This is, of course, on PC at 4K and max settings. But it's mind-blowing to me that this game's been out for 4 years. It looks better than most games that are brand new. You can see some of these video clips that I'm showing are gonna show how not skilled I am at the game at times, and also is going to show my addiction to Elden Ring gameplay. There is a dodge move, which is like on an Xbox controller, the dodge button is the B button, and the dodge move is a simple like sidestep, but there is also a roll on the ground dodge, which is, I think, double tap B, in like double tap in the direction, a certain direction, and he'll roll in that direction. And because of my tons of hours in Elden Ring, which this is certainly not Elden Ring. It's not that kind of combat. It's not as hard as Elden Ring by any means, but it's sword combat. It's up close and personal combat. And as you'll see, I'm a little over reliant on the ability to duck and roll. But Ghost of Tsushima, I am going to show off some combat kind of in the middle of the video, but I just wanted to show some of the stunning visuals. This game is the only game other than Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2, when I make videos for Red Dead 2, for those of you that don't know me or haven't followed my channel, Red Dead 2 is my favorite game of all time. I believe even now in 2024 it's the best looking game in the world. It has the best, most complete visual package of any game available. But Ghost definitely challenges that as far as cinematic value. Those are the only two games that I've ever played, is Ghost of Tsushima and Red Dead Redemption 2, that while I'm playing them, I want to record every minute of footage. I want to record everything I do. And it's because no matter what you're doing, no matter where you go, the game just looks insane. It's so unbelievably beautiful, and whether you're in combat or whether you're exploring, you can just be riding your horse down the road, and it is like the most cinematic experience that you have ever had in a game on just about every place you go, just about any time of day, just about anything you do. It just blows you away. And it seems like every time you go over the next hill, every time you cross the next river, or you journey into the next biome of the world with a different color of leaves and a different type of grass, it's somehow more beautiful than the last. Like, it just continues to shock you with how gorgeous it is and how detailed everything is, and the weather effects and the way it so seamlessly goes from like a scenic masterpiece into a bloody battlefield, and then as soon as you're done fighting the enemies, it turns right back into a beautiful, serene and quiet scenic background that is just so impressive. Now the combat is really good, and I know I'm still not that far into the game. I know it's going to get much harder as I go, but it is very detailed, and you can really feel like a serious badass once you get some of the moves down and kind of learn what you're doing. It makes you feel like the most awesome samurai that ever lived. And I'm sure for the people who have mastered the combat in this game, they are basically unstoppable, because this game is kind of skill based. Once you learn all the moves and how to use what move at the right time and what stance, you have multiple stances. That's one thing that I'm still trying to get used to. You have to switch stances for different enemy types. But as you get more experienced with that,
someone's being tortured.
It makes it flow where, okay, this guy's got a spear, let me switch to this stance, and then you take him out, and then you switch to another stance for the sword enemies, and then you switch to another stance for the shield enemies, and you just, I don't know how many good combat sequences I have in this video. The video is more to show off the combat and show off the graphics, but I have recorded so much gameplay in this game, and it's because everything I did, I just wanted to record it. I wanted to record every fight. I wanted to record every scenic horseback ride. Like, everything I did, I just wanted to record it all because it's so beautiful. And the combat is always interesting. It's always engaging. It's very, like, tangible. I'm sure if I had a PS5 controller, it would be even better, because I know with the PS5 controller you have the haptic feedback through the triggers, like the resisting triggers. You see, my game plan is a little too much on the ground. I'm always rolling around, dodging everything. And you see I'm getting mud all over my character from rolling in the mud. So I'm like covered in mud. And I'm kind of overdoing it with the dodge rolls. But like I said, that's an Elden Ring side effect from playing a lot of Elden Ring. You have to dodge on the ground, and plus I just like how it looks. It's so fluid in this game. It feels good. The way they come at you with multiple enemy types, we have in almost every encounter you have at least 2 or 3 enemy types, and you always have the archers standing off in the background, and they call out their shots, which is historically accurate. Mongol archers would call out their shots to warn their comrades so they didn't accidentally shoot their comrades in the back. Fun fact though, in this game, these guys will shoot their comrades in the back sometimes by accident, and it actually does hurt them. If they shoot their horse, it actually will kill the horse. Like, it's pretty cool. Everything actually reacts realistically, even if they don't mean to do it. So you see the archers are basically helpless once you get up close to them, but they put up a pretty good fight at keeping distance and using their teammates' abilities to keep distance for themselves so that they can continue to shoot at you. And I've already encountered higher level archers that will fire at you much more rapidly. They'll fire like 1, 2, 3 instead of spacing their shots so much and everything. So there is a lot of variation in enemies, and like I said, I'm not even that far into the game. I think I'm about 25, maybe 30 hours at most into the game, and I've been exploring the entire map. I haven't been mainlining the main quests or anything like that. I've been taking my time. I really want to make this game last and take my time through the story and everything else, so I'm in no rush. So you see there's a bear over there destroying those soldiers, but I found a fox, and foxes will lead you to the fox secrets. They call it a fox den. So you find the fox den, and then you follow the fox, and he leads you to some kind of secret area or an unlockable of some kind. Mostly the foxes, I think, lead you to not temples, but like little I don't know what you would call them, little shrines, so you can like honor the shrine. And then the coolest thing about the foxes is after you find the shrine, you can honor the shrine, and then once you do that, if you can find the fox, now a lot of times I can't find them, but if you can find them, you can pet them, which is super cool if you love foxes because they're so cute. And you pet the fox, and then he does a little happy hop away from you. He's in a good mood, and that's awesome. And then there's also the golden birds that will lead you to other hidden things like hidden sword variations and things like that, armor sets and different things that are hidden throughout the world. But the thing about Ghost, I'm not saying that Ghost of Tsushima is Red Dead Redemption 2, because it's not. There's not nearly as much to do from what I've seen in Ghost of Tsushima as there is in Red Dead. Red Dead, you can spend countless hours playing the game without even entering into any kind of combat. You can go fishing, hunting, you can do all kinds of things. Whereas in Ghost, it's a little more combat focused. It's a little more littered with enemies who want to kill you. I mean, you are in Tsushima after it's been taken over by the Mongols. So Everything is kind of in ruins. Most of the houses you find are either damaged or burned, and there's Mongols everywhere setting up camps and taking over farms and killing people. There's literally dead people strewn all over the countryside from the Mongols murdering their way through the countryside of Tsushima. So it's very bleak. There's a lot of great storytelling. There's a lot of cool little side missions, people that'll give you little missions. There's different variations in missions. Like there was one that I did that was about like a mythical can't remember what it was called now, but it was like a mission that gave you like a certain power, which I don't think I've ever actually used in combat, but it gives you like a special power, and you only could get it by doing this one particular mission. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Like if you rush through the game, I think you can beat this game in about 25-30 hours. But if you take your time and really explore and try to find all the cool stuff there is to find, you can spend a lot of time out in the world just exploring. So you see, this is one of the encampments. This is one of the like fortified places that the enemy has, and they do have guards that will sound the alarm and bring everybody to your location if they see you. And you hear that drum playing in the background and the guy humming. That is an actual guy who is somewhere in the camp playing the drum. He'll play like the war drum and then sound the alarm if he spots you. And I do play stealthy some of the time, as you're seeing here, but if you do it too much, if you do too much what they call ghost attacks, like stealth attacks, assassinations and stuff, it actually affects the weather in the game. It'll make the game rainy and gloomy and thunderstorms all the time, and it would not be nearly as beautiful as it is when it's sunshine and gorgeous outside. So because of that, I kind of have to temper my stealth attacks and only use them when I absolutely have to. A lot of times I find myself doing the samurai way and challenging my enemies to a duel and having to take everybody on at once just because I don't want to overdo it with the stealth ghost tactics that bring on the bad weather. And I mean, you can see it's raining now, and yeah, it's pretty. You know, the weather is beautiful in this game, but it's not as beautiful as it is if you are looking at like beautiful sunset or something, or sunrise in the morning, things like that. So they have an attack dog at this camp. They only had one. So this is the, see if I can remember it right. I think it's the wind stance. Or no, water stance, I think it is. Water stance is the one that does well against shields. There's like 3 or 4 stances. I think I have unlocked 3 of them. There's still one more I haven't unlocked. But they specify against certain enemies. So like a guy with a sword, use one stance to attack him better. You see this archer above me is really ticked off right now. And you hear them sounding the alarm. So they're sounding the alarm now. So now I'm going to be surrounded because everybody's going to come rushing from all around. And this is, like I said, this is certainly not Elden Ring by any means. But this game is challenging, and if you let yourself get surrounded by a ton of enemies, you can die pretty fast. So you see right here, it's telling me wind stance is effective against spearmen, so it's making me switch to wind stance. So then once you do that, then suddenly your attacks can break through their defenses much easier. It has a really cool balancing system where as you kill enemies, you get, I can't remember what it's called, like what the word for it is, but those little gold circles in the bottom left, that is how many times you can heal yourself. And every time you get a kill, it starts to fill up those circles. So if you're getting enough kills and taking out enough enemies, you're able to heal yourself throughout combat. So it keeps you alive longer. If you have enough health, you can actually, if you unlock the skill, you can revive yourself once you're downed, as long as you do it before they come over and execute you. So you see, I've got myself in a mess. I got archers shooting at me from long range. I've got a ton of enemies. You see, the archer actually shot his own guy right there. You see, I actually go down here, heal myself, get back up, take out the leader. And leaders are very important. If you can observe leaders before you attack a camp, you actually get double. You get 1 bar full for killing them and 1 bar for observing them. So see, this guy takes me down. I'm able to heal myself, but every time I heal myself, he's kicking me. So it takes me a few tries, but I finally get back on my feet and take him down. And I still got these archers I gotta deal with. You see, I'm looting supplies as I'm getting shot at. So you see, that guy actually shot right past me and hit the horse. Actually killed the horse right behind me. So I'm trying to find him. So I'm showing off, you know, combat, which is it's really good. The combat's really good. It feels really good. It's very intense, and you definitely have like a skill level, not in-game skill level, but like your actual skill level will determine how good you are at it. And you can learn to use all of your skills. I'm sure there's people who play this, who've been playing this for a long time, who are like god tier samurai. Like, they're just unbelievably good, I'm sure. So you see, I just got a credit for observing that leader. And now, if I kill him, I'll get another bar filled for my next stance. So I get double credit for observing him and then killing him. So, and you see, when you kill the leader, these guys like hesitate for a second, like they can't focus for a second. It kind of freaks them out.
Ой, өнөөхийг чи харлаа. Ошоо. Тэд энэс мултарч чадахгүй. Ямар нэг юм харгуу.
So you see my character is locked onto an enemy, but I can't tell where the enemy is. So I've been waiting for this. I remember when this came out. It came out in 2020, and about a month after it came out, I think it was either a month after or a month before, Horizon Zero Dawn came to PC. And I read an article saying that Sony was bringing their first party library over to PC slowly, and they would be bringing a lot of their major titles over to PC. And of course I was extremely excited because I haven't had a PlayStation since the PS1, I don't think. I've had Xboxes ever since the PS1, basically when the first Xbox came out. I became an Xbox fan, and then I moved on to PC, and once you go to PC you kind of don't ever look back. But I fell in love with Ghost from the first trailer I ever saw for it, and I thought at that time, now see, because of the Ghost quality, the Ghost attacks changing the weather, I actually choose to stand off against the entire camp here instead of going stealth and assassinating all these guys. I just decided to take them all on. And it's a bold move because they all come running out together and they really make it tough on you. Crazy thing is, that's how the samurai did combat in real life, was they fought with ultimate honor. They would challenge their foe even if they were outnumbered, no matter what the stakes were. They would openly challenge their enemies to a duel, basically. You see, I'm getting my butt kicked here. I'm almost dead. So I gotta get some kills to get my ability to heal back, because right now if I go down, I'm down. I can't heal. So that's one kill. And now I am almost dead. You see how getting a kill can turn the tide in a battle. The next thing you know, you're kicking the crap out of everybody, and you feel like a complete badass again. I mean, I was at my last chance right there. No health and no ability to heal, and one swift move, and it all works out. So there's archers here somewhere. So it's one of the things I don't fully love is every now and then your character gets stuck like this where he's like facing an enemy and you don't know where the enemy is, so you're just kind of like running in circles. But you're facing the direction he's in. I don't really love that, but I haven't figured out how to stop it from happening. You see right here, he's facing in that direction the whole time. So I know he's in this building because my guy keeps looking at this building. And then I realize, oh, he's upstairs. That's why I can't find him. And he's up here shooting at me out the window. Now the guy downstairs is sounding the alarm, but I don't know how many enemies are actually left for him to rally. Looks like a few. I like how there's like 4 or 5 different ways that Jin puts his sword away. You can actually see him do like different versions of getting the blood off of his sword and then putting it back in its sheath. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool how much detail they put into all that. It kind of makes me think about Red Dead, how there's several ways that Arthur puts his gun away after a shootout and things like that. Just the little details like that are what make games great. It's not so repetitive and similar all the time, but always changing. So you see, I'm looking for more bad guys. I found some outside the camp over here. See, after a big battle, a lot of times some of the guys will still be rolling around or crawling around on the ground, like suffering after being cut or slashed, and you have the opportunity to end their suffering. I don't know what happens if you don't. I don't know if they'll just do that for a long time and then die, or if you get like more ghost points and you're considered like a bad samurai if you don't end their suffering. I'm not really sure, but you see, like way off in the distance, the grass is blowing in the wind, like I mean like hundreds of yards away, and that's a level of detail you don't see in games. Usually the draw distance is not nearly that far, and things like active grass or things that interact with wind and things like that, they're not active that far away. It's pretty incredible, actually. So you can be in such a beautiful place like this, and then sure enough, there's a couple of bad guys over here So you end up in a bloody fight with a couple of guys who were fighting a bear. There's a skill you can unlock where you can kill multiple enemies on the standoff. Like you can slash the first guy, then slash the second guy, then like kind of chain kill a bunch of enemies when you stand off. And I've actually not unlocked that skill on purpose because I don't want to do that. I don't want to, like, I like the fighting. I like it to be more realistic. You guys know me, I like simulation games, so I don't want to get a bunch of free easy kills. It's another reason I don't do Ghost as much. I want to feel the challenge. I want to enjoy the game the way it was meant to be enjoyed instead of taking a bunch of shortcuts, I guess. But just look at it. I mean, just look how beautiful it is and how detailed everything is. It's really nuts. It's a good thing I don't have like infinite hard drive space, because I would probably record my whole 500-hour playthrough of this game, because I just want to record it. I mean, look at that. That's in-engine. It's what the game looks like while you're playing it. This is not like some rendered cutscene. In fact, when this cutscene ends, I didn't know that I was back in live. Like right now, it's live. You can play. You can walk around. You can do whatever. I didn't even know I was. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm back to the game. And this is a really tall shrine with a lot of like puzzle climbing schemes, so it gives you the option to descend just automatically. But just the scenery, the beauty of it all. The day-night cycle is fantastic. It's gorgeous at night. It's gorgeous early in the morning. It's gorgeous at sunset. But even, one thing, a lot of games are pretty ugly in midday. And one thing I will say for Ghost of Tsushima that it has in common with Red Dead is even when the lighting is not good, even when it's like midday, like high noon, where a lot of games look washed out or very bland, Ghost of Tsushima looks great even at that time of day, even when it's supposed to look flat. It still looks fantastic. And there are a lot of things you can discover and things you can do. This is one of the lighthouses that are along the coast, and you can actually light the lighthouses. I don't know what happens if you light all of them, but basically by lighting them, you grow your legend as this legendary samurai. It seems like everybody knows who you are everywhere you go, or most places you go. They call you by name. And one thing that's really cool, I don't know if you've ever seen me play Red Dead, but when I played Red Dead, I basically walk through the town and say hello to everyone. Like, it's really obnoxious for people that don't like slow, methodical gameplay, because I sit there and, howdy, how you doing? Hello, how you doing? Hey, mister, like that whole thing, the whole time I'm playing Red Dead, like non-stop greeting everyone to get high honor or whatever. Well, in this game, you have the ability to bow to people. So you can walk into a camp and somebody will call you by name, and then you can bow to them and they'll bow back to you and greet you. And man, it's cool. It's just, it allows you to immerse yourself in the whole time period. It allows you to immerse yourself as this samurai who is a high honor individual. And I wish there was even more interactions you could have with the people that are in the villages and camping and different things, because the way they made this so true to what we know of that time period and everything, it's immersive as can be. I mean, it's beautiful. It's just so deep, and it adds little things. You can even play your flute. You carry a flute with you. You can play your flute, which I just discovered. If you play your flute, you can actually change the weather. So you can make it rain if you play certain songs. or if it is raining, you can play a different song and the sun will come out. And I don't know what extent that goes to. I've only unlocked like 2 songs, but I don't know like how extreme that goes. But yeah, this is Ghost of Tsushima. This is what it is. It's immersive, beautiful, scenic. And the next thing you know, you're hacking and slashing a bunch of bad guys with your sword. And then right back to the beautiful scenery a few seconds later. Like, it just... It's a masterpiece. I haven't beat it. I haven't experienced the whole game. I haven't even experienced half the game. I've looked at the map, and I haven't been to Iki Island, which is the huge expansion that they made for this. Haven't been there. I've only done the first bottom half of the map, and just from this experience in the first 20 to 30 hours of the game, I am so blown away that I would mention it in the same sentence as my favorite game of all time, which is Red Dead 2. So the fact that I would even mention it in the same sentence as that game shows how much I love Tsushima already, and just how good I really think it is. And you see right here, this is one of the farms. You see, I'm going to greet this lady.
You honor me, my lord.
Well guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate all the support I've gotten from my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully there will be more Ghost of Tsushima coming in the near future.